Are you planning to buy a rural home in Southern Oregon? Please watch this video before doing so. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Simona Fino, and today I will discuss the things you need to keep in mind when buying a rural home in Southern Oregon. Now be sure to stick with me until the end of this very short video because I have a really important bonus tip to share. All right, without any further ado, let's begin. We're going to start with understanding zoning. It's really important to understand and familiarize yourself with the different types of zonings in our rural landscape because each zoning has rules and regulations as to what you can and can't do. EFU, exclusive farm use. This is typically flat farmland, usually 10 or more acres, and it sometimes comes with water rights. EFU properties can include wooded acreage, but it's primarily farmland. WR and FR. This is woodland resource, forest resource, or woodland residential. As the name suggests, it's primarily forested or wooded land, and often it's 10 or more acres. RR, rural residential. This is the most common type of zoning, and it's typically under 10 acres. OSR is open space reserve, and as the name indicates, it preserves open space, and it's primarily for agriculture, and it tends to be larger acreage. Now, when you're looking at a property's use and limits in Southern Oregon, it's important to know exactly what activities are allowed and not allowed, especially when it comes to things like farming, water rights, or running a business. This is also going to include what types of structures you're allowed to build, where you're allowed to build them, the number of homes you're allowed to have on a property, the number of large animals you're allowed to have on a property, and again, whether you're allowed to have a business. So zoning dictates all of this. So be sure to think about what it is that you want to do with your land so that you don't end up buying something that doesn't work for you. You also really want to research the rural community you're interested in. Every rural community has a different vibe, and it's important to do your research and get to know the community. Let's talk about some important things to consider. So if you have kids, school district and your proximity to school is going to be important. Where will they be going to school and how are they going to get there? Are there buses or will you be driving them? And will you be driving them to after school activities and what does that look like for your family schedule? This is also going to include shopping, medical appointments, entertainment. Know how far these things are from where you're thinking of living because that's going to make a difference in your daily life. And please be sure to get to know your local rural spots. Country markets, hardware stores, restaurants, coffee stands, farm stands, wineries. These are going to be your go-to spots when you need something and you don't want to drive all the way into town. It's also a great way to support your community and meet your neighbors, which is really important because this is your community and building your rural community network is how our rural communities survive and thrive. All right, let's talk about stewarding and managing your land. Rural properties need a lot of stewarding, and you need to be prepared for that. Two important infrastructures to be aware of are the well and the septic, which provide your water and your sewer. You're responsible for caring for those important systems. Stewarding your land is going to include everything from keeping your fields mowed to tearing out invasive blackberries, keeping trees and underbrush maintained for fire safety. All of this means you're likely going to need equipment beyond a garden shovel and a rake. You're going to need a mower, a tractor, maybe even a trailer. In addition to the house, you may also have outbuildings to manage like a barn or a shop. So start thinking about how much land and infrastructure you're willing and able to take care of. All right, next point. Be sure to talk to a seasoned real estate agent. All right, if you're thinking about buying a rural home in Southern Oregon, you want to talk to a real estate agent who knows the area, has experience with rural properties, because you want to work with someone who can guide you through the whole process, right? From choosing the community you want to live in and choosing the type of rural property that's going to fit your needs, helping you navigate the intricacies of the sale process, including all the things you need to be researching during that inspection process. I also really want you to start thinking about land versus house. So depending on your budget, you'll want to think about whether you want more house or more land. Here's what I mean. Land is expensive, And you're gonna find that a $500,000 house in town is going to be much nicer and bigger than a $500,000 house on 1 or more acres. So look at your budget and consider what your priorities are so that when you start viewing homes and properties, you'll have a good sense of what's going to work for you and a realistic understanding of how far your budget is going to go on a rural property. All right, remember at the start of the video, I talked about an important bonus point, insurance. Insurance is becoming more complicated in our rural areas, primarily due to the threat of fire. Insurance prices have gone up, and in some cases, insurance companies won't insure certain properties based on their location. So I recommend the moment you are in escrow on a property, start looking for insurance and make sure you have that locked in. I typically recommend starting with the insurance company the sellers are currently using, but I can also recommend a few. Just be sure that you start that process right away because it may take a minute to sort out. All right, if you have found value here and would like to see more videos, click on the boxes in the screen. If you'd like to know more about Southern Oregon real estate, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my socials to keep yourself updated. Hit the like button if you found this video informative. Once again, I'm Simona Fino, and I absolutely love connecting people with community. I look forward to helping you find your rural community. You can get in touch with me through my contact details in the description box below. See you next time.